Hi, this is Mr. Capert. In this video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to model the red practice part. You want to open up the same file that you created the blue part in. We're going to model them right next to each other. Now remember, to start a sketch, I'm going to click with my finger on that front plane. I'm going to hit the pencil tool in the upper left corner, and then I'm going to choose the line tool. I want to look at this straight on, so I'm going to do a 2-finger click in this work plane area and say view normal to sketch plane, and I'm also going to hit the lock symbol in the upper right. See how that turned yellow orangish there. Now make sure your line tool is still selected. You'll see in the top toolbar here, you'll see that there's a highlighted line. It's a little bit darker, so I still have the line tool selected. So I'm going to click and hold down my finger and click and hold down my finger again, and just keep doing that to make the general shape of the red part. Notice I'm making it too big, and you could click and hold your finger down and kind of line things up like this, and it'll lock into the right plane so that it's same plane as that line below. That's kind of a nice trick. So notice I'm drawing it a lot bigger, but I'll go back and fix that. So I'm just clicking, holding down my finger, and then what I'm going to do is the dimensions, which will make this look right. So we're going to hit the pencil tool in the upper left, hit the dimension tool, and then I like to do the largest ones first. So I am going to click and hold down, click and hold down, and put my overall width first, which is 1 inch. All right, and then I want to do my largest height next. So I just click and hold down my finger. Sometimes it doesn't work and you got to try again. Oops. And it got deselected. So make sure the dimension tool in the upper left there is highlighted. Mine got deselected somehow. Click and hold, click and hold. And I want to make this 1 inch. Okay. And then now I'll start doing all my other widths. So click and hold. Quarter inch. So just do all my widths going across. Click and hold. And then remember, we got to widen these gaps, so 0.49. .76 to widen the gap. So I have all my widths. You can deselect the dimension tool to then move these. We'll do that later. So now I'm going to do all my heights. So notice these are kind of independent of each other, so that's why I had to do both of these to get the right height on both these lines on the gaps. So notice I did have to do that twice, unlike on your sketches. See, and then we'll do 0.51. And then I think I have all my heights, right? Yep. I would try to keep, I probably should have kept this further away from here, so when I take a screenshot, all the dimensions can be seen. So make sure they're nice and clean. When you turn in your parts, I'm going to want a screenshot showing that all the dimensions are correct. So if these are on top of each other, you can deselect the dimension tool. You can double click on the white, or you can just go up and hit it in the toolbar up here. See how I'm toggling on and off? And then if you needed to move a dimension, just click and drag then. So make sure they're readable when you go to screenshot this for your parts. I'll have more instructions on that. So let's hit the check mark to finish that. in the lower right box there, and then hit the extrude tool. So the pencil, oops, never mind, my bad. The sphere, what am I thinking? And then extrude. Click on the shape that we want to extrude here, and then we're going to change this to 0.25. And this little box gets in the way sometimes, which is annoying. Okay, check mark that it's been extruded in the upper right here. All right, next step is there's two blocks that jet out here. So we're gonna choose that plane. I selected that face that lit up there with my finger, and then I'm gonna hit the pencil tool. All right, then I'll do a 2-finger click on the workspace here, view normal to sketch plane. And I'll lock it. The lock is in the upper right there. You saw that it turned yellow. I'm gonna use the corner rectangle to make these blocks. Now this is the tricky thing. You can't have any corners touch on things that you're extruding, unfortunately. So let's say I do this. Unfortunately, it won't extrude. You get an error. So I'm gonna hit undo, and instead, it's a little ugly, but I'm gonna click and hold down and get really, really close. But notice I did not touch the corner. Notice with these, if this corner touches, then it won't extrude right. So just get it real close. When this prints, it's gonna be about this size here, so you won't even notice it. So sorry, it's a little annoying. Anytime you have corners that touch, you're going to have to make it where they're really close rather than touch. So notice the corner of this block and the corner of this block can't touch, or it won't extrude correctly. And then in terms of dimensioning these, I'm not going to be that picky. So just hit the dimension tool and just make sure they look correct. Really, they look pretty good to me. We'll see what the height is on this one. Oh, so it turned out to be okay. These really, on these raised blocks, I just want them to look correct. So you don't need to get crazy with your dimensions, is what I'm saying. If you look at this from the distance, this looks totally correct, right? Even though I'm a little off on some of the dimensions. So hit the check mark in the lower right blue box next to sketch 4, that you finished that sketch. And then to extrude these, you're going to hit the sphere and then extrude. And then you're going to touch the 2 boxes with your finger that you want to extrude. And the depth is going to be 0.25. Hit the green check mark. Hit the check mark again within this extrude 4 box. And then the last step is I want you to color this in. So if you go to the lower left corner here in the browser, notice I'm moving that, hit the 3 dots next to part 2, then hit appearance, and let's change this by clicking and dragging and making it red. Hit the check mark in the upper right here to finish this off. So let me know if you have any questions at all. Should have your 2 parts looking like this.